From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you into this Tuesday's edition of For the People on November the 21st, 2017. It seems lately, and I know it's not intentional, but it seems that there is so much scandal that is going on in our country, and it has to do with sex. Everybody's having sex or sexually mistreating somebody. And it's just headline after headline after headline. And we're going to mix it up a little bit on this hour, but the big story is Charlie Rose, CBS departure. And this is a really big bombshell because CBS, he was the anchor of CBS This Morning. So he's not there anymore. Now, his colleagues condemned what he is alleged to have had, but 8 women have come out against Charlie Rose. I mean, you want to talk about scandal, it's a lot of women that come out of the woodwork. Eric Shawn is a anchor and also a journalist at Fox News, and he filed this report earlier today.
He was absent from the anchor desk on CBS This Morning. He has, as you said, been suspended by the network and his PBS interview program halted for now amid the latest allegations of sexual harassment. Charlie Rose, as you know, is a television news icon. He's an in-depth interviewer of world leaders and the celebrated and accomplished. But now he is off the air after 8 young women claim he sexually harassed them. Their stories, detailed in the Washington Post, say he routinely hit on or acted inappropriately with interns, associate producers, and other female staff members. The claims include inappropriate touching, groping, walking naked after showering in their presence, fantasizing, and even physical and emotional abuse. The newspaper says he routinely invited young women to stay with him at his country house in the Tony resort town of Bellport, Long Island, or meet at his Manhattan apartment. And their complaints, they say, to his executive producer fell on deaf ears. This morning, his CBS News colleagues, Nora O'Donnell and Gayle King, addressed the allegations with shock and a heavy heart for someone who was so respected.
This will be investigated. This has to end. This behavior is wrong, period.
I am not okay. After reading that article in the Post, it was deeply disturbing, troubling, and painful for me to read. That said, I think we have to make this matter to women.
CBS says the allegations are, quote, disturbing, and they take them seriously. And PBS, which distributes his hour-long Charlie Rose interview program, said, quote, we expect our producers to provide a workplace where people feel safe and are treated with dignity and respect. Sandra?
And what is Rose saying?
Yeah, Charlie Rose is contrite and apologetic, saying he deeply apologized. He says in his 45 years of journalism, he's been an advocate for women and is aware now of the pain caused by such conduct.
All right, so here's, I said on the first hour, he's been an advocate. I mean, this is the way that you spread goodwill by advocating groping and misconduct. I mean, this just goes against everything that you have been saying you're doing. You've been helping yourself, don't you think? And you've not been respecting women. So this is just embarrassing, to say the least. Rose, 75 years old. 75 years old, apologizing for his behavior, and said that he was embarrassed by it. When asked by TMZ news agency last night if he would like to comment on the women who have accused him of wrongdoings, Rose simply replied, it's not wrongdoings. So he's not admitting to it. He's just embarrassed about it. He's apologized for his behavior, but he's not really going forward in admitting specifics. And, you got to lawyer up. That's what these folks do and will do. But it doesn't seem like he is, at least this juncture, saying that he is going to be lawyering up and he will be vindicated from all of this and he'll be back on the airwaves in no time. This doesn't have the feel of that, and networks have to do what they have to do, because if they don't condemn it, or they don't speak out against it, then they're going to lose all kinds of advertisers, and now they have to scurry to keep the morning show going without Charlie. And the show, as they say, will go on. But Charlie is retired. Nobody's going to touch him. That's a hot potato, buddy, if I ever seen one. It's a shame because this guy's been on for decades and decades, widely, I'm not a big fan, but widely respected in journalism. Again, I'm not a big fan, but people tune in on PBS and CBS and enjoyed him. He was highly professional in what he did. But what he did off the camera that nobody else saw was a different side of Charlie. And I think everybody kind of has that different side to them that they don't allow the world to see, and for sometimes good reason, as we can see now. But there is just, no excuse for that type of behavior. And again, as a host of this nationally syndicated radio, I've worked in broadcasting all my life. And I can tell you at some of the stations that I work for, women complained when somebody would say something to them, and they would either be let go immediately, just depending on how strong the accusation was or what happened, but there would be a meeting. A lot of the DJs or the talk show hosts, they would say something. They didn't get away with it in radio. And I worked in New York, worked in Los Angeles, worked in Memphis, other radio markets. And this, it just really wasn't too tolerated in the workplace where I was at. I mean, they frown upon it in the big companies that I work for. I work for Clear Channel, Bonneville Broadcasting, Citadel, J-Corp, a lot of different groups through the years. And again, that wasn't tolerated. But you'd always hear stories on television. I think it's more prevalent on that side in entertainment in Hollywood, where the big money is. And not to say there's no radio money, but it just seems that those higher levels are just is more prevailing for whatever reason in television. But I didn't see it. I apologize, folks, for the banging here. Apparently, they wanted to make some news here. They're banging on my broadcast wall. Hopefully, they're hanging some Christmas stuff up. But they just made it onto our broadcast, which is kind of interesting. A pilot was killed in a jet crash in Texas, and this is very sad to hear. Never like to hear of any military person getting killed. But one pilot was killed as a U.S. Air Force jet crashed yesterday in a Texas near the border town of Del Rio, and a second pilot was injured. The injured pilot was taken to Val Verde Regional Medical Center after the T-38 Talcon crashed about 40 miles northwest of Leland Air Force Base. Am I saying that right? Leland Air Force Base? Yeah, the San Angelo Standard Times put out this report, and, of course, it's in all major newspapers right now. But basically, from the Air Force, from their mouths, said that a board of officers will investigate the incident, and the names of the pilots involved were being withheld for next of kin notification. So they have not released it as of yet. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back right after this. I'm going to try to get them to stop banging.
It's 6 a.m. 40 million Americans are waking up to a Gillette shave. And at our factory in Boston, 1,200 workers are starting their day building on over 100 years of heritage, craftsmanship, and innovation. Today, we're bringing you America's #1 shave at lower prices every day, putting money back in the pockets of millions of Americans. As one of those workers, I'm proud to bring you Gillette quality for less, because nobody can beat the men and women of Gillette. Gillette, the best a man can get.
With all the choices out there to enjoy some entertainment, wouldn't it just be nice to have something that didn't cost an arm or a leg? I found something that does just that. It's called 123 Ready TV. It's one of the most remarkable apps available to start watching all of those movies and TV shows for one incredible price, just $19.99. And that's a one-time only price. Recap: all your movies, current and classic, and sports and news, and so much more. So cut the cable and stop spending money at the movies when you can truly have it all at your fingertips. No commercials, just all the entertainment you desire. 123 Ready TV is available for Windows and all Android devices. Get your 123 Ready TV for just $19.99 at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Just click on the store page to get yours now and start enjoying entertainment the way it was supposed to be. Fun.
Introducing the official For the People coffee mug featuring the colorful red, white, and blue For the People logo with Keith Allen on a ceramic 11-ounce coffee mug, perfect for any hot beverage of your choice. This mug is a great reminder of what we stand for: God, country, and family, with conservative values and good old-fashioned common sense. To order your For the People coffee mug, pay just $20 plus $3.99 shipping and handling at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. And enjoy.
And For the People continues on your radio. It's an electrician or an alarm company, I'm not sure, but they did not know that we were doing a broadcast over in this part of the building. So anyways, it's not only disturbing for the sound of the radio, but it's hard to do a show when you got the banging, when you're trying to think on your feet and think through news stories. So that's why we took the early break today. Back to the pilot killed in the U.S. Air Force jet in Texas. The T-38 Talcon was the world's first supersonic trainer when it entered service back in 1961. Some 500, believe it or not, of T-38 Talons are still in service. But nearly 1,200 built from 1961 to 72 for the Air Force and NASA looking for parts. The jets are single units constructed of aluminum alloys with control surfaces reinforced with internal honeycomb, according to a Northrop Grumman company. Says design improvements development from usage were retrofitted in many of the operational jets. So some people are weighing in wondering if it's an old design flaw, if these things should be retired, because a lot of them have said that there's parts that can't be found. They're not being serviced properly. And, many people just weighing in on social media with their condolences with this big loss. May he rest in peace. So sad for the victims' families. In the Del Rio community, prayers and thoughts coming your way. It's just, sad when this happens. And, of course, trying to investigate as to what happened. I mean, you get these trained pilots, the world's finest that fly for our Air Force. And, there was no ejection here. It was just killed. So that's just kind of a big surprise here. And maybe he didn't even have time to be able to do that if something catastrophic happened. But, again, it's a big reminder of the price that our military pays to keep our freedom here and abroad to levels to where we can sleep at night. And so I'm forever grateful to him. The pilot lost his life. They're not releasing his name, but to his family, our condolences. We salute you for your bravery, because, you got to have some guts, in my opinion, to be flying at these supersonic speeds and to maneuver. That takes some serious prowess. And, some people say, well, it's just the computer. They fly these planes. They know how to fly them. It's not the computer that takes over. They use computers, but they're flying these things. And they're putting their bodies into these machines at those high rates of speed. I would be certain that he didn't feel a single thing when the thing imploded. But another one gone, and we should never forget them, and people like them that sacrifice themselves again for